Rich and we're Consumer Hub, and this is the Meet the series, which is all about giving you insight into the different functions within the FMCG sector. We've got Joel Barlow today on the show with us. Joel's very kindly agreed to come on board and share some insights into his world of category insights. Joel's got a really interesting career across category insights and marketing within FMCG. Currently, he's at Muller in a senior management position there. Joel, great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks for having me.
Smashing. Right, we'll get straight to it then. Joel,
let's go.
What is the function of your role as a senior category management leader at Muller, and what value does it add to the business?
Great. It's a great question, to be fair. And at times, given it's there's so much going on in the role, you even at times you're asking yourself, like, what is kind of my position? What am I bringing to the larger picture? And essentially, it is genuinely about ensuring that kind of the category, and more importantly, the consumer, remains at the heart of all the different kind of business decisions that are interplaying. So from a kind of a commercial, a supply chain, making sure that everything that's going on, actually we're keeping kind of the consumer at the heart of that decision-making process. And it's a real hybrid of a role. It's as creative as it is analytical. So it's got a real nice blend of lots of different skill sets kind of going on there, from kind of mapping out the market and performance and analysing, but also looking at kind of the future innovation pipeline, what that looks like, and how can we create value for the retailer, and I guess more as well for ourselves as well as a business.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's great insight. Thank you. And what does a typical day look like? Because it sounds like it's a very varied role. Like, what do you get up to just on on a Monday? When you get in.
It's such a good question. I'm sure like loads of people will say that kind of every day is different, and it genuinely, truly is. There is so much going on that, in all honesty, kind of one day I might be helping out with looking at the future budgeting process. So what does 2021 and beyond look like? And that might be, well, why do category get involved in that? But actually, essentially, if we're looking at kind of consumer trends, movements within the market, it's critical that we really kind of have a voice in that and understand, well, actually, we think X category may grow because of these following KPIs and that kind of thing. So genuinely, we could be looking at the budget setting and helping from that perspective. It may be a shopper activation piece, looking at how we bring kind of critical consumer messages to life. How can we influence that at point of sale and above the line marketing? Or it could be working with our NPD team on the future innovation pipeline. What does that look like? Kind of quality benchmarking the competition and looking at what the latest innovation might look like in dairy. So it's a real hybrid of a role, and genuinely every day is different, and that keeps it exciting and pretty fresh.
So it sounds like the answer is depends what plate you're spinning.
It truly does, and I guess naturally thrown into that mix is the retail meetings as well. And obviously the pandemic has fundamentally changed how we interact with the retailers, and if anything, the level of category involvement has massively kind of accelerated the ability to quickly throw in meetings in the buyers' diaries and have quick conversations around ideas, and to get the cross-functional teams together so quickly. Like, we could be talking about 7 or 8 different functions, which you historically would have to diarise, get everyone in the room at the same time. And now at the touch of a button, we're speaking instantaneously, and it's fantastic to be able to work at pace and be quite agile and quite lean.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. What do you enjoy about the role?
I think personally what I enjoy about the role, and I don't think it's just a reflection of category at Muller, I think it's a reflection on the capacity of the role in general. I love that you can truly make it what you want, because there is such a hybrid of the analytical side of things, the storytelling, kind of transferring that data into tangible insight. There's that real nice kind of data and creativity side of things. So you could come into the role and really want to get into the numbers and really kind of find out what's going on there, get into the distribution, the range and the optimizing. You may want to come in from more of a creative angle, look at the shopper activation, future NPD innovation pipeline, market positioning, kind of what your stance is versus the competition. I guess there were very few roles where you could really take it in kind of one or multiple directions. You're not set in stone as to what the category manager has to look like.
Yeah, right. That's really interesting. And what are some of the key challenges that you'll be working with in the role?
Oh, it's a really good question. To be fair, I think in all honesty, it's having that laser focus on what you genuinely think are going to be the 2 or 3 kind of big bets. Whether that's big bets because it's going to be the biggest sales or the most profitable, or whether you think that's going to be the most transformational. And actually, I guess the reason that's a challenge is because there are genuinely so many opportunities within this space, and kind of within Muller, within dairy. Actually, there's so much to go after that it's important, and the challenge really is kind of zoning in on what we think the 2 or 3 kind of real key things are going to be within that space, and what we go after. I guess as with a lot of businesses, there is often kind of unlimited wants, but naturally there are limited resources, be that people, be that capacity, factories, capabilities, competencies. Actually, it's kind of we can't be everything to all people, so it's kind of carving out what's Muller's role within this market, and what are we going to go after from category, and what are them 2 or 3 things that we want to be famous for over the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, right. Okay, no, that's really interesting. So who are your key stakeholders internally and externally? You've alluded to some of them, but who are the guys that you work with most closely either side of the fence?
So I guess on both sides of things, from an internal perspective, it's quite a host of people. I guess there's naturally kind of the head of category management. There are the broader functions, so the business unit heads that sit within commercial and kind of head up essentially kind of the GM position of looking after kind of specific retailer groups. I'll be working quite heavily with them, but also from our head of innovation and our people that sit within R&D, working quite a lot with them to say, well, this is the innovation pipeline that it looks like within my retail set. What does it look like when we roll it up? What do the opportunities look like? Actually, how could we start to bring them to fruition? Would it be via ourselves? How could we go about doing that? So there's quite a broad kind of cross-functional reach, I guess, internally. And that's broadly reflective of actually kind of our points of contact externally. Naturally, there's always the points of contact with the buyer, but it's critical that we really kind of get the feelers out and have points of contact with the retailer's own marketing team, who's looking after their merchandising, the planograms, who's looking after their online team, their social media profiles. And it's really critical that we have points of engagement with everyone, because I think, as I mentioned, because it's such a complex role, not everything can be brought to life by one individual. And it's critical that when we have quite a comprehensive category plan, the innovation, we may need to engage with their product development team, their technologists. When it comes to shopper activation, above line marketing, we might want to engage with their social media team, who are their marketing managers, and kind of going function by function and ensuring that we've got a strong relationship there.
Yeah, right. Now that's really interesting. And what does good look like?
I think good. I guess it's quite a bit of a kind of a traditional kind of category triple win. I guess you'd say you want success for the retail partner, you want success for the shopper or the end consumer, and I guess you want success for ourselves as well. And I guess typically, and I guess as a lot of retailers tend to articulate within their strategies, if you're genuinely being consumer centric, most of the time, the other things should naturally follow. So if you are landing products that are deep rooted in kind of category insight and are the right thing to do, then surely kind of by doing the right thing, hopefully the sales volumes follow, and hopefully both the retail and the supplier are happy with doing so. So it's genuinely that it would be delivering, I guess, success on those 3 fronts. I guess as well, even just from a success in that sense. It was also success from kind of a personal perspective. I love seeing products on shelf, and that knowing that actually that's come from kind of great category relationships and kind of bringing insights to life, and we've been able to land a new bit of innovation, or we've been able to extend the distribution on a key SKU and got more exposure. seeing stuff brought to life.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, if there's somebody that's out there, you know, maybe they're a graduate or they're new into FMCG, that they're aspiring to be a leader in category insights, what advice would you have for them?
It's a really good point. Do you know what? And I guess talking from my personal perspective, like I started out at Greencore, and category management as a function isn't something I'd heard of. I did a very quite a finance. I did economics and investment banking as a degree. So actually, I guess the category management route was just. I was going to say it's something I never thought about, but I guess you can't think about it if you've never heard of it. It's kind of if it's not on the radar, you don't know to think about it. And I would strongly urge people to try and find out more about it and see if they feel like they have the skills that could really kind of complement it. Because, like I said, someone's studying a financial degree. Well, that financial acumen, the understanding of the profit and loss, there's so many transferable learnings there into category analysis. If you've done more of a broader marketing degree, then again, there are so many transferable learnings into category management in regards to shopper activation and above the line comms and stuff like that. It's something that generally should be considered, and it's worth a little bit of time kind of getting into the detail of it, because it's not a kind of traditional kind of post-graduation route. If you've done finance, it's quite well, you might want to go into accountancy. It's kind of, there's no kind of natural progression or a natural route into category management. You either find out about it indirectly or you come across it from doing a bit of research, and it's well worth a bit of time putting some of that research in, because we're talking about FMCG, we're talking about such significant players. It's such a massive part of the UK economy. It's food and drink. It's the backbone of a lot of things. So it's worth putting the time and the effort to find out a little bit more about the key players in that area, and whether you think it's something that could be of interest, because I would guarantee on most occasions there is something within the role that you would enjoy and flourish doing.
Yeah. No, that's some fantastic insights there, Joel. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, if you found what Joel said interesting, useful, drop him a follow on LinkedIn, see what he's up to. And thanks for listening. See you next time. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Check out the playlist here for more content like this. Click the donuts to subscribe so you never miss an update, and give us a like and a comment so we know what content you'd like to see from us. See you next time.